Hi. So today I'm going to talk about the Great Emu War. It's happened in 1932 Australia, and it's just the funniest thing. Like, it wasn't even a proper war, but the fact that it even happened, like, what even? So by late 1932, 20,000 emus suddenly migrated to Campion, part in Australia, causing a lot of destruction. So they damaged the land, they fed off it, and they damaged fences, allowing for animals like rabbits to eat crops that otherwise they wouldn't get access to. So on the 1st of November, there was supposed to be an attack on the emus, so the beginning of the war, but there was a bit of rain. So that never ended up happening. On the following day, the 2nd of November, the first attack at Campion. Like, it's an attack on birds. So, well, Major Meredith, who was the guy in charge of this war, and two of his men saw a bunch of emus, 50, near a town in Campion. And they tried firing at them, but they didn't succeed. A bunch of them, like, they dispersed into smaller flocks, and maybe, like, just a bunch of them were killed, not many. So, overall, this attack on the 2nd of November of 1932, not really that's it's humans against birds, humans with guns against birds. Then the Great Emu War per se is the period between the 2nd of November, like I said, and the 10th of December. So that was the beginning. The first thing was the Battle of Campion, 50 birds. Well, they they sent Meredith with two machine guns to just try and kill as many birds as they could. And on the 4th of November, the Battle of the Dam. The battle. There was. This implies the emus fight back. So Meredith and his men, they spotted a bunch of emus, like about 1,000 of them. So quite a few, 1,000 emus, towards headed towards a dam. They thought, okay, we're gonna wait until the emus are in range, and then we're going to fire on them and attack them and kill as many as we can. They positioned themselves and then fired towards the emus. What was the problem? The guns jammed after like nothing. So only 12 emus were killed out of 1,000. 12 out of 1,000. How? And the rest just managed to run away and just escape before the Australians could rearm them. Could rearm the guns. So it's just 1,000 birds, and they only killed 12. They just have machine guns. Like, yeah, they got disarmed, but. And then on the 8th of November, the Major Meredith is forced to withdraw. Well, this doesn't mean. When I first read this, I just generally thought the emus were so powerful that they had forced this guy to just retreat and hide and fight another day. But turns out there was press coverage of the incident, and it got really negative press. Like, people were really against this. Therefore, forcing the Australian Parliament to be forced to shut down Meredith's operation, which I get. I mean, I'm completely against the killing of birds, but he was forced to take a step back and then stop. And by this point, over 2,500 rounds of ammunition had been fired against birds, against 20,000 birds. Well, that was on the 8th of November. And on 4 days later, on the 12th of November, Meredith was called back into action, like yet again. So the farmers were just desperate. They're like, the emus are back. They're still destroying our food. So they asked the Australian government for help, which meant that the Australian Parliament put Meredith back in charge of the whole emu deal and gave him a few soldiers instead of two machine guns. Because, you know, machine guns, soldiers. Soldiers have the individual guns. Machine guns, yeah, if they work, they're gonna be really useful. If they just disarm after only killing 12, let's just say it's not very useful. So he did get a bunch of men. So from the 12th of November to the 10th of December, so almost a month, it was more successful than the first part. They said that apparently 986 emus have been killed during the fighting, the shooting, and around 2,500 had been killed because of injuries, not as a direct result of the shots, but they got injuries. And by the end, 10,000 rounds of ammunition were fired. He was then recalled, and the whole war ended. The war lasted from the 2nd of November to the 10th of December. Which I just think is really funny. It's a war against birds, just birds, and it causes a defeat for the Australian army. It's a defeat. If you look anywhere, it says they lost because they didn't kill. It was 20,000 emus. They didn't even kill a quarter of them, and the emus were still in Australia. There's still emus there. What a whole war against the emus. That's a really short one. It only lasted a month. But the fact that Australia, also on the coat of arms, they have a kangaroo and an emu. It's right there. You see, the fact that Australia has in its history a war against birds is just mind blowing. So yeah, it's a very short video because there's not much to talk about. But I just thought you'd like to know about this because war on emus. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a very short one. So yeah. Thanks for watching.